It's a high decibel fight in the raging azaan versus the Hanuman Chalisa controversy on the loudspeaker to be played, and it's growing noisier by the day. Aurangabad's Marathwada Sanskiritk Maidan turns saffron to hold Maharashtra Navnirman Sena chief Raj Thackeray's public rally. These are the visuals on your screen. A coincidence, today is also the Maharashtra Day. The rally is being held in the backdrop of the ultimatum given by Raj Thackeray to Uddhav Thackeray government to remove loudspeakers from the mosques by the 3rd of May, which is 2 days from today. This comes as MNS-Sena and the BJP try to stake their claim on the right-wing Hindu politics of the state. Amid the row, Raj Thackeray has praised Prime Minister Modi over government's Naya Kashmir. Thackeray earlier, remember, praised Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath for a crackdown on loudspeakers and also added a no yogi in Maharashtra, only bhogis here jibe at the Aghadi government. Strict security arrangements, meanwhile, are in place at Aurangabad venue where large number of Hindu seers, group leaders, VIPs are expected to be present. But of course, the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has responded. He was interestingly in Aurangabad on Saturday to attend an event, commented on this controversy and labelled it a fight between two brothers to project themselves as the biggest Hindu leader. Let's go across quickly to my colleague Pankaj Upadhyay, who's there at the rally. What exactly has till now, Pankaj, Raj Thackeray has said? Do we see a message being sent across, a signal of any kind to any party by Raj Thackeray today?
Raj Thackeray, Pooja, should be arriving here at the venue in around half an hour or so. But here, at the Marathwada Sanskritk Krida Mandal ground, I see capacity crowd. Now, apprehensions were being drawn earlier whether Raj Thackeray will be able to fill this ground. This ground has a capacity of around 15,000 people. Right now, there is capacity crowd, and even beyond this ground, I see many MNS supporters, and this is exactly what MNS leadership was saying in the morning hours, that supporters from far and wide across the state will come and listen to Raj Thackeray. And the reasoning that they are giving here is that Raj Thackeray has struck a chord not just in the Marathwada region or Mumbai or Thane region, but in the entire state. And that the vacuum that has been created after Shivaji joining the Mahavikas Aghadi government, MNS says that vacuum will be now filled by Raj Thackeray and MNS. Of course, the issue of loudspeakers, the controversy over loudspeakers has given a new lease of life to Raj Thackeray, and that's the very reason why we see rejuvenated MNS cadres. Now, they're not saying right now that they are going to align with the Bharatiya Janata Party, though it is pretty obvious that they have the backing of the Bharatiya Janata Party. MNS currently has two-pronged agenda, it seems. One, to strengthen their base, not just in Mumbai and Thane, but at the same time, now they have taken a very brave step. They are moving out of Mumbai and Thane in the Marathwada region. And interestingly, Pooja, this is Aurangabad, where I've been saying that the communal fault lines are very, very clear here. Will Raj Thackeray, like his uncle Balasaheb Thackeray, be able to strike that strong Hindutva chord here with the people?
Pankaj, also about the turnout at this event where you are reporting from. How many people? Are there any specific groups that are there? Because what we see on our visuals here, that he's pulled off a show of strength, that they appear to be hundreds of people and supporters. And this is big for a party like MNS, which is not exactly on the top in terms of public votes, so to say. Has he managed to get people to at least show that there are supporters and strength behind Raj Thackeray's party? Pankaj.
Yes, Pooja. As I said, I am seeing capacity crowd here. You know, this is the Marathwada Sanskritk Krida Mandal ground. This ground has a capacity of 15,000 people. Now, even before Raj Thackeray's arrival, I see there is capacity crowd all round. An indication enough. If at all, Raj Thackeray was wanting this to be a show of strength, at least he has prove that. And the first speaker here on the stage said clearly that he wants to send out a message to all those people who had been saying that Raj Thackeray will not be able to gather even 5,000 people. Yet another interesting aspect, for the first time around, officially from a stage in a rally, Raj Thackeray has been called as the Hindu Jan Nayak. So he's been called the Hindu Jan Nayak. The MNS cadre is all aggressive right now.
Pankaj, stay on with me. Stay on with me, because what I see on the screens and what I hear from the location is loud cheer for Raj Thackeray. Take a look at that. That's clearly hundreds of, if not thousands of people who have gathered there. That's a massive crowd that Raj Thackeray has been able to pull off for him and for his party. How do you think the Shiv Sena would be looking at it, the Maha Vikas Aghadi government in Maharashtra? And clearly he's aiming at the Shiv Sena and specifically at Uddhav Thackeray. I'm now joined on this live telecast by the Shiv Sena spokesperson, Manisha Kande. Manisha, is Raj Thackeray proving to be a threat for the Shiv Sena with these rallies and with the manner in which he's constantly now updating the Hindu right-wing politics? Manisha?
Well, I think your name is Shalini.
Pooja Shali. Pooja Shali, Manisha, yes. Go ahead.
Pooja Shali. So, I hope you will allow me to speak continuously without interrupting me.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
And so that, you know, I don't speak on different issues apart from whatever you're asking me. So the thing is that now, currently in India or in Maharashtra, there is nothing like a Hindu-Muslim fight, or there is no issue that somebody has to prove his Hindutva. So this issue is being created, it is being hyped. And I mean, MNS, a party which is already on saline, now it is getting booster doses from the BJP. First I would like to talk about the crowd that you're talking of. Now the crowds are easily being purchased, people are being brought. I heard that BJP has given him 10 crores for just collecting people from various parts of Maharashtra, not only from Maharashtra, but also from Uttar Pradesh. Now I come to Mr. Raj Thackeray and his appearance and his changing stance on various issues. If you remember, in 2019, he had fiercely criticized Mr. Narendra Modi. Before that, he had been to Gujarat to observe the Gujarat model. And then he started praising Mr. Modi. 2019, he started criticizing him heavily. He also tore off the BJP. Now, after a gap of about 3 years, again he started praising. Now, he doesn't target. He doesn't want to speak on petrol and diesel prices.
Okay.
He doesn't want to speak on the CNG prices. He doesn't want to speak about the common man problem.
Okay.
He wants to divide the Marathi voters. He wants to divide the Hindu voters into linguistic basis. That is his aim. And here it is a matter of survival for him. For the Shiv Sena, it is not a matter of survival. He has to prove every now and then. And his completely changing stance.
Yes, Manisha, but I do have an added question. Yes, I hope you spoke as long as you wanted. You made a valid point. I do have added question at this point. Do you think, and because you're alleging this is the Bharatiya Janata Party's support, why are you saying that? Because for now, BJP today is not really reacting on this rally. But do you think this is to help the BJP come into government, or so to say, main politics of the state of Maharashtra, whether Shiv Sena is holding fort on Hindu politics or on Bala Sahib's ideology that had been there for the Shiv Sena for the longest time?
Well, we all know that in our country, the only true Hindu leader is Honorable Bala Sahib Thackeray. He has not been replaced by any other person. Neither anybody else will be able to replace him. This everybody knows very clearly. Now the problem with BJP is, in spite of having 106 MLAs, they are not able to form a government. And that is their problem. Right from Sushant Singh's death till today, they have tried to topple the government but failed miserably. And this is the problem. So now they are hiring people like Raj Thackeray, like the Ranas and so many else. We call the MIM the A team of BJP. Now the MNS is the B team, because they have tried every effort, but the government fails to topple. So what do? They get all these pelwans to fight with us.
Okay,
But
so this is the
Shiv Sena is Shiv
BJP.
Sena.
Is it propping up Raj Thackeray, who's also the cousin brother of Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, and the Shiv Sena, so that they can, that the Shiv Sena can come down, BJP and MNS can go up. That's what the Shiv Sena is saying. Manisha Kande, I request you to please stay on for as long as possible, because we're just going to go across back to those visuals on our screen. Take a look at that. For as far as I can see, there appears to be a massive crowd, rose petals being showered on the cavalcade and the vehicle of Raj Thackeray. He's expected to arrive anytime soon. Bugles and all sorts of noises and cheer for Raj Thackeray today. Pankaj Upadhyay is on the ground. Pankaj, I can understand it's hard for you to even hear and difficult to hear what I'm saying, because there must be so much noise and cheer. But as Shiv Sena is claiming, these could be BJP crowd brought in from Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, elsewhere, because it's easy to bring them. What do you think of the crowd sense right now there on the spot?
Well, Pooja, on the ground zero, we are seeing crowd, and that's what we are showing to the viewers. This ground has a capacity of around 15,000 people.
Okay.
This crowd is filled to capacity, and that's the truth which is being proved by the visual. Now, of course, whether this will turn into votes, that's a totally different story. Also, whether strategically MNS and BJP have played the right card, that also remains to be seen, because that's also a fact. If the MNS is able to get even 5% of the votes of the Shiv Sena, then the Bharatiya Janata Party will be very, very happy with what's happening on ground zero. Just before the start of this rally and before the speeches began, MNS leadership said that everyone present has to wear a saffron cap, an indicator to the rest of the people and rest of the political parties, as they say, which will show that MNS finally has arrived yet again. And of course we know, as the Shiv Sena leader is also saying, that MNS leader has been changing his stance every now and then. Yes, it's a fact. It is the truth. But despite today, he realizes that merely the issue of Marathi Manus, Marathi Ashmita is not going to give him votes. There's a scope. And that is the reason perhaps that he has again found a new stance, and that is going back
and
to
Pankaj, very interesting. I do want to add here what you're telling us. He realizes that the Marathi Manus and the Asmita, so to say, of Marathis and Maharashtra can be rigged up again, but he also realizes he cannot do it alone. Remember, in Mumbai, he calls on Kavinder Gupta, who's been a Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir for a long time. He praises Yogi Adityanath. He praises Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Naya Kashmir. Pankaj, there's a clear signal he is sending out to the BJP.
Pooja, it's hard to hear your question, but I would just like to add one more point.
Yes.
That how strategically and how smartly Raj Thackeray is playing his politics. You know, the entire city has Raj Thackeray's posters, and his posters have an uncanny resemblance with Balasaheb Thackeray. There is this tilak on the forehead, spectacles, and this saffron shawl. It is uncanny reminder of Balasaheb Thackeray. Added to that, this very ground in Aurangabad, you know, people have been telling us that nearly 34 years back, Balasaheb Thackeray had made his famous speech from this very ground, and after that, Shiv Sena had seen huge electoral gains, not just in the local polls, but they got Lok Sabha seats as well from Aurangabad and Parbhani as well. And so, is this simply a coincidence, or this is a well-planned tactics that has seen success in the past, that Raj Thackeray is emulating yet again?
And Pankaj,
whether
yes,
this crowd that has gathered here at the Marathwada Sanskiritk Krida Mandal, that has gathered here will result into votes as well, that remains to be seen.
Pankaj, if you can possibly hear what I am saying, that because we are looking at these group, and you know, it's already dusk now. There appears to be slight delay. We are expecting him just to be in Aurangabad anytime now. But take a look at this, because our cameras are trying to capture any video right now. But the support to BJP has definitely been highlighted. Kavinder Gupta now joins me on the phone line. He's been a Deputy Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. He met Raj Thackeray as well. Mr. Kavinder Gupta, Pooja Shali here. It's very interesting when he praises Modi's Naya Kashmir and meets the BJP netas. Is the BJP looking at him as the next big neta for Maharashtra? Do you think he can actually give a strong challenge and competition to the Shiv Sena and the Aghani government, Mr. Gupta?
देखिए, ये तो केंद्र किस प्रकार से सोच रखता है वो केंद्र की बात है। जहां तक मेरा विचार है कि राष्ट्र विरोधी ताकतों को खत्म करने के लिए राष्ट्र भक्त लोगों को इकट्ठा होना पड़ेगा। अगर इस प्रकार से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ कुछ एक अच्छी सोच लेकर के किसी का भी मिलना होता है तो वो राष्ट्र के लिए, महाराष्ट्र के लिए हित में होगा।
कविंदर जी, आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि शिवसेना की स्पोक्स पर्सन आए थे अभी मनीषा कांडे थोड़ी देर पहले, और हम सामने जब उनसे पूछा इतने सारे लोग हैं राज ठाकरे की रैली पे, तो उन्होंने कहा देखिए ये तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी लगता है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने भिजवाए हैं, ये क्राउड तो खरीद लिए भी जा सकते हैं उत्तर प्रदेश से या कहीं और से। तो क्या बीजेपी का पुश है राज ठाकरे को आज की रैली के लिए सर इन औरंगाबाद?
देखिए, सरकार जिस प्रकार से चल रही है महाराष्ट्र में, जिस प्रकार से गुंडाराज, जिस प्रकार से अपनी विचारधारा बदल करके ये सरकार चला रहे हैं और मजबूरी की सरकार चला रहे हैं, उस सभी में लोगों ने जिस प्रकार से सहा है इस सरकार को, चेंज होना स्वाभाविक बात है। ये उस चेंज का एक आगाज है और मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले समय में लोग जो शिवसेना, कांग्रेस और जो एनसीपी है इससे तंग आ चुके हैं और इनकी सारी जो कार्य करने की प्रणाली है उससे उब चुके हैं। आने वाले समय में भारतीय जनता पार्टी और दूसरे लोगों पर विश्वास किया जा रहा है कि जल्द ही ये सरकार मजबूरी का गठबंधन है और ये कभी भी टूट सकता है।
कविंदर जी, ये जरूर बताएं मुझे कि आप जम्मू कश्मीर के डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर रहे हैं, एक प्रोमिनेंट नेता रहे हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के, महाराष्ट्र के नेता हैं राज ठाकरे, आप दोनों की मुलाकात क्यों हुई आज?
देखिए, शिष्टाचार भेंट किसी से भी की जा सकती है और मुझे लगता है कि हम लाइक माइंडेड लोग हैं और एक राष्ट्रीय विचारधारा को लेकर के चलते हैं, तो उसी नाते इस प्रकार की भेंट वहां पर हुई है। तो औरंगाबाद मेरा जाना हुआ तो उस कारण से हम मिले, तो उनकी भी आज वहां पर रैली थी। तो मुझे लगता है कि जो भी जम्मू कश्मीर को लेकर के, जम्मू कश्मीर में नई इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आए, क्योंकि ये मुंबई एक हब है इकोनॉमिक, ये जो गतिविधियां हैं, तो मुझे लगता है कि इनकी सपोर्ट के साथ जम्मू कश्मीर में बहुत बेहतर हो सकता है।
बस एक आखिरी सवाल कविंदर जी आपको जाने से पहले, क्या अगर राज ठाकरे कल को अलायंस की उम्मीद रखते हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लिए महाराष्ट्र चुनाव के लिए, will BJP be willing to open the doors for Raj Thackeray for an alliance in Maharashtra politics? कविंदर जी,
देखिए, ये तय करना मेरा राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व करेगा, ये मेरा प्रेरोगेटिव नहीं।
चलिए, शब्द आपके अभी मैं समझ सकती हूँ आप क्लैरिटी शायद ना दे पाए, एंड एज ऑफ नाउ ही सेइंग दैट इज व्हाट द सेंटर विल डिसाइड, बट एज Kavinder Gupta, the deputy chief minister, he's been formally of Jammu and Kashmir, met with Raj Thackeray of MNS, who's about to hold a rally this massive in Aurangabad. Very interesting developments ahead. BJP says we have nothing to do with this. We think they are only nationalistic netas. We are like-minded people. And that's the only reason that we have met MNS chief Raj Thackeray. Take a look at these visuals. Pankaj Upadhyay continues to be with us. We'll try and get you as many reactions on this. Pankaj, has Raj Thackeray arrived yet? Because it was supposed to be beginning at around 6 p.m. Any specific reason that he isn't there yet? And are you expecting him to take on Uddhav Thackeray, his cousin brother and Chief Minister of Maharashtra, specifically in this rally possibly?
Well, first of all, Pooja, the BJP leadership in Mumbai have been maintaining for the last couple of weeks that they do not need to align with the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, and that they are not giving any backing to the MNS, as is being said in various quarters. They maintain whatever Raj Thackeray is doing in his own understanding, but they are saying that they give him moral support. After all, he is favoring Hindutva, and whatever he is doing is the right thing. And as I was saying, BJP also realizes that even without aligning with the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, in Maharashtra, if they are able to capture even 5% of the Shiva Sena votes, then that will be good enough for the Bharatiya Janata Party to wave the victory flag, and that is form the government. But will this crowd that everyone is talking about, the capacity crowd that had gathered not just in the Mumbai Gudi Padwa rally, but in Thane as well, and now here in Aurangabad as well, whether this will translate into votes for Raj Thackeray? Now, of course, that really remains to be seen.
Raj Thackeray may not be, Raj Thackeray may be thinking otherwise with regard to the BJP, but do you think BJP also realizes that MNS and Raj Thackeray could be a good neta for them to possibly be on good terms with in the future, if required, for Maharashtra? Do you think that's also why there are these meetings, so to say, are taking place?
See, Pooja, I think before any other alliance take place in Maharashtra, before that there are the all-important Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections, and the eyes of the BJP, MNS, Shiva Sena, NCP and the Congress are glued to the BMC election. It remains to be seen how the performance of the MNS is going to be in the local body elections. But the BJP hasn't really closed doors on the MNS. Every time they say that they are favoring the new stance that Raj Thackeray has taken, and they are keeping it open. They say that the doors remain open, but officially, at least at this point of time, they will not say that there is any talks of alliance with the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena. And even the MNS has said that they are not, off record, they say they are not opposed to any alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party. But for now, even the MNS is testing waters. Even MNS realizes that it's a new lease of life that Raj Thackeray has got after many years. And he is making headlines. People are talking about Raj Thackeray, and the issue that he is talking about is striking a chord with the masses. And that is the reason why Raj Thackeray is courageous enough to venture out of Mumbai and Thane, the comfort zone. Like his uncle Bala Sahib Thackeray, now he's ventured into the Marathwada region. Here he is out in Aurangabad. And as I said, is this a coincidence? A historic place like Aurangabad, which is communally sensitive as well, and just like the hard stance, Hindutva stance that was taken 34 years back by Bala Sahib Thackeray when he had given the famous jibe of Khan versus Ban. Ban as in the bow and arrow, the Ban. This time around, we have Raj Thackeray, who's been called as the Hindu Jan Nayak. Whether this Hindu Jan Nayak will be any force in the Maharashtrian politics, and whether the crowd that he is gathering right now will turn into votes, that remains to be seen. Because if that happens, that will change the politics of Maharashtra in a big way from here on. Because remember, Shiva Sena has now aligned with the Congress and the NCP, and there are many people, as sources say, as political experts say, the supporters of Shiva Sena are angry because they never wanted Shiva Sena, the hardline or Hindutva party, to align with the NCP and the Congress, because the ideology of the Congress and the NCP is totally different from the Shiva Sena. So will all those people who are angry, agitated with what Shiva Sena has done, will divert towards the MNS? Will the MNS or the Raj Thackeray be a force to reckon with from here on? All that remains to be seen. But for today, at this moment, all eyes are going to be on Raj Thackeray here at the Aurangabad ground. What sort of a stance is he going to take? What else is he going to talk about other than the politics of loudspeakers? Will he be talking about this Ayodhya rally? What more will he say on that? Will he talk about AIMIM and the growing strength of this party here in Aurangabad region? That also remains to be seen, because a member of parliament belongs to AIMIM.
Do you see any other big face as you are panning your camera, and we can see people standing on rooftop, on the houses? We can see people cheering and clapping for Raj Thackeray. Can we say, a big face apart from Raj Thackeray, from MNS, from any other party, Hindu Sia, or do you think it will be Raj Thackeray only and primarily today to take on all the limelight? That is apart from him praising Yogi Adityanath, Narendra Modi and the BJP's action on several issues.
I'm really sorry, Pooja. There's so much of cheering and sloganeering going all around. I'm not able to hear your question, but I'll ask right now. There are such rich visuals. I'll ask my camera person, Mangesh Amre, to pan these visuals, because if it so happens that the politics of Maharashtra changes from here on, then again and again we will be going back to this very rally of Raj Thackeray in Aurangabad. And yes, you were rightly pointing out, I can see many people on rooftops. There are many people who are on the rooftops. I'll ask my camera person Mangesh Amre to try and zoom in a little bit to the various houses around this very Maidan. And across the Maidan, I see people who are there in their rooftop. Now, interestingly, on the right-hand side of the stage, there is this dedicated section for the women folks, and on the left-hand side of the stage, there is this dedicated entire section for the men. And the people here have been maintaining that Raj Thackeray and his party is all about discipline, and hence they will maintain discipline at all costs. Additionally, the police is keeping a very, very close eye on this rally, because remember, Raj Thackeray has been given permission for this rally on certain conditions, and the topmost condition is that he cannot make any hate speech. He cannot target any community. He cannot target any individual. There cannot be any brandishing of any weapons whatsoever. So interestingly, even though I saw one person here who was dressed up as Hanuman and he had a big mace with himself, the MNS Karyakartas asked him to sit down and not to come in front of TV cameras. So it's all happening here on ground zero. There is capacity crowd here in the Aurangabad's Marathwada Sanskiritk Krida Mandal. 15,000 is the capacity.
For you, Pankaj, at all? I understand there must be a separate media enclosure. Are there supporters around you? Do you see anyone from the MNS that you can possibly reach out to? If that is not easy, I get that. But as you're telling us right now, with so many people on the ground, do you think, and can we say today with this rally, even if it is just a group of people, thousands of them there on the rooftop, can we say that Maharashtra is back to taking an interest in Raj Thackeray? Can we say that he's revived himself in some way and has become a threat to the Shiv Sena and the Aghadi government?
Pooja, you'll have to excuse me. I really need to apologize to the viewers. I'm just not able to hear your question, because here is the capacity crowd. Everyone is resorting to sloganeering. But what I can tell the people here is that I was there in the first rally of Raj Thackeray at Shivaji Park in Mumbai. You know, what I realized, that even though Raj Thackeray has changed his stance a little bit, and that he has taken the hard Hindutva stance, Raj Thackeray is the same Raj Thackeray what he was years back. He is still issuing ultimatums. He is still the aggressive leader that he was years back. And even though after 2009 he did not get many electoral wins, yet he remained the aggressive force that he is today. Even on his second rally in Thane, he had given the ultimatum to the state government that if by 3rd of May the loudspeakers issue is not taken care of, then he will not be responsible for the consequences. And the Mumbai, and not just in Mumbai, Thane, and in the entire state, we saw how there was an environment of tension that had been created. But interestingly, Pooja, let us also take this into consideration, that many sections also said that this very issue of loudspeakers, instead of what was being anticipated, that would result in a law and order situation, has done so much of good. MNS itself says that this is is a social issue, and it's focusing and stressing on the fact that a consensus needs to be developed on this very social issue, because it is not just about one religion. But while on one hand, MNS says that this is a social issue and got nothing to do with any community or religion, the fact also remains that Raj Thackeray has given an ultimatum of 3rd of May, because he clearly realizes that this is one issue that has kind of propelled him into the main politics of Maharashtra. Now, it really remains to be seen whether this crowd that has gathered here will ultimately vote for Raj Thackeray, vote for MNS as well. That really remains to be seen. Raj Thackeray, I'm getting the information that I'm getting the news. Raj Thackeray has left his hotel now.
Okay.
Pooja,
okay.
Raj Thackeray has left his hotel, and that means within 5 to 10 minutes he should be here at the venue.
All right, Pankaj, keep tracking all the latest. As you can see, our reporter on the ground cannot even hear us in the studio properly because the cheering and the sound of the crowd and the supporters of the MNS is so high right now. But not just that, there are people on the rooftop in the neighboring houses. There are banners and posters of Raj Thackeray, as you can see, even on the houses and the rooftops, not just on the ground. Are we looking at, as we see on the ground, a comeback, a revival of Raj Thackeray? Or perhaps that will be a longer test. But he's already started meeting the BJP netas, praising Prime Minister Modi's Naya Kashmir, praising Yogi Adityanath's bulldozer and loudspeaker action, and taking on Uddhav Thackeray, saying, in Maharashtra, we have no Yogi, only the Bhogis. I'm heading into a very short break for now. But when I return, don't go anywhere. This is big news coming in from Maharashtra, India Today, live on all that's been happening there in the state.